Hi, everyone. I wanted to take a few moments today and talk to you about your R1, the first research project. I posted a couple of sample papers which I think will help you a lot if you'll take just a few moments and look over them. I'm going to discuss some of the more important parts with you, but if you'll print them out and have them there in front of you, it'll help a lot. The first one I want to talk to you about is called also it'll be helpful if you have the assignment sheet, obviously, but it's called the colorful sample. Now, both these sample papers are based on the play Hamlet, and we are doing the play Macbeth, but the structure, the organization, everything else is applicable, just not the topic. So anyway, the topic for this one is Ophelia was weak. In the play Hamlet, Ophelia is a woman, a female character, and she is easily controlled by men. The first thing to notice, though, up in the upper left-hand corner is your heading, which you're familiar with because of the handout, which I've already posted, called Format. And it tells you, and the heading goes your last name. Now, the sample has my last name, but on your paper, you're going to put your last name first name last, no period. English 1302, either section 152, 156, 157, whatever. And then the date that it's due, in this case, September 22nd, comma, 2024, no period. Then the title of your paper, whatever you choose to title it. Then uh, skip one space and you're going to double space the rest of the paper. The heading is usually single space, but if you want to double space that, that's fine. But anyway, so your paper has to be broken down into small paragraphs. Now, as you're looking at this Ophelia sample paper, you may notice that the paragraphs seem rather short. For the introduction, that's okay. Introductions and conclusions are special paragraphs because they perform special functions, and they generally are shorter. But the body paragraphs are shorter here because they aren't well developed, they aren't well explained. This is really more, and I apologize, my printer is black and white printer. If you're looking at it on screen, you're going to get the full color effect, including this lovely, very colorful legend, which explains all the different colors. But anyway, uh, you got the introduction, and then at the end of the introduction, the last sentence of the introduction is the thesis, and it is the main idea of your paper, and it clearly addresses the topic. Now, here the thesis is Ophelia represented women of the time by being controlled by men. Okay, your paper is either going to say something about the role of the witches in shaping Macbeth's fate, or the transformation of Macbeth from hero to villain, or Lady Macbeth's descent into madness. You don't have to use my exact words. Synonyms are wonderful things. But if you want to use my exact same words, that's fine. You just need to make a point. Lady Macbeth's descent into madness was caused by her husband or caused by unfulfilled ambition, or Macbeth transformed from a hero to a villain because of his wife, or the three witches shaped Macbeth's fate because they're evil. Just whatever point you want to make, you've got to add a point onto here, onto the topic, onto the assignment, and put that in your thesis. Thesis is the single most important sentence in the paper. Make sure, last sentence in the introduction, the thesis really is the main idea and clearly answers the research question. All right, then if you look down, and these are different colors, the blue, if this were in color, the blue sentences would be the topic sentences. The first sentence of each body paragraph is like a little mini thesis because it controls that paragraph, which is then usually followed with a short quote. Now, notice these quotes I'm exemplifying here are very short. The first one says, quote, "What shall I do?" So you don't need a long quote, really one sentence or half a sentence. You just want the main point, the main idea of that sentence to support the point that you're trying to make in the topic sentence. Also, of course, make sure your topic sentence clearly supports your thesis. Then, after the quote, immediately after the quote, no matter where your quote is, once you finish that quote, you're going to put parentheses and you're going to have a citation. In fact, it's called a parenthetical citation in MLA. I tend to call it an in-text citation because that's easier to spell, but it's the same thing. And it's going to have, normally it's going to have two pieces of information, author's last name and the page number. But since we're dealing with a play, it's going to have the author's last name, in this case Shakespeare, the act number, the scene number and the line number. And then the close parentheses and a period at the end there. Then the next 2 or 3 or 4 sentences are simply going to explain how your quote supports the topic sentence. That's all. You may decide to tell who's talking to who or what they're talking about or what the situation is. You can provide context if you need to, but don't retell the story. Don't give me a lot of action. Don't just simply, summarize the play or that part of the play. I want you to write this paper like you've read the play and you've understood it, and you're writing to someone who's read the play and understood it. You're just simply clarifying one particular point. Remember that point in the play where Macbeth rides up on his big horse and he's brandishing a sword? Then you go into telling how that demonstrates he's a big hero, or whatever your point is. Then at the end, on a separate page, okay, hit Control Enter, and that'll give you a hard page break. You're going to put your Works Cited page, and it's titled Works Cited, and it's still called Works Cited, even though there's only one work. That's your play. And then you just list the play. Now, I'm going to just email you the Works Cited page. I'm just going to post it up for you so you can copy and paste it, because this is a unique situation. We won't do anything like this again this semester, and I want you to see what it's going to be like, but I don't want you to have to look it up or find out for yourself. I'm just going to hand it to you. So be sure you copy and paste it onto your Works Cited page. You still have to have the Works Cited page, of course. And that's it. Proofread carefully. Make sure that your spelling errors, your grammar errors, your punctuation errors are as minimal as you can make them. You still got a couple of weeks left on this, so I'm hoping for good work. Now let's take a look at that second paper. This one is not colorful. It's not color coded. There's no legend, but it is better developed. You notice the paragraphs are a little bit longer, and at the last 3 or 4 sentences of each body paragraph are the explanations that provide context and explain how the quote supports the point. Imagine you're having an argument with someone, and the argument is over which brand of candy tastes best, and you want to argue that M&M's taste best. And the person arguing with says, "Oh yeah, I'll prove it." So you quote somebody who supports your point, some expert, some international candy expert, who also believes that M&Ms are the best candy. And so you quote this person, and then you explain where he said it, who he's talking to, why he said it, what it means by best and by candy, and you provide all this explanation. This is a short paper, 700 to 1,000 words. I know some students are like, oh, how can I write that many words? It's not trying to meet the minimum. Trust me. It's trying to get all your ideas down into that 1,000 word maximum. And I would ask that you keep it to just about 1,000 words max. Any more than that, and you're going to lose your audience, which is me. But anyway, be sure that each body paragraph contains a topic sentence, which clearly supports the thesis. It's followed by a short, direct quote from the play, no summaries or paraphrases. Right now, we'll do those for the next assignments. And then each short, direct quote, which is in quotation marks, followed by an in-text citation, then is followed by 3 or 4 or 5 sentences that explain who's talking to who, what they're talking about, how this quote supports the point you're trying to make. And then, of course, the conclusion sums up, restates, renames with no new ideas. And again, separate page with the Works Cited page on it. Okay. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the first research paper. I am looking forward to you doing your best. If you have any questions about the play, about the content, it's not a difficult play. Once you get the characters down, once you understand the plot, basically what's happening, and the themes, it's a pretty straightforward read. I read it twice this summer, just kind of fill some time. It's not hard. It's not difficult. It's very understandable. Shakespeare is a master of the craft, and I hope you'll enjoy reading it as you go through. Let me remind you that this is a play, and Shakespeare wrote it to be acted out on the stage. It is a visual medium. The fact that we're studying it on paper would surprise Shakespeare, probably. So are you allowed to watch a video? Of course you are. But I encourage you to read the play first, then watch the video. Read, Act One, then watch Act One. Read Act Two, and then watch Act Two. And as you're reading it, stop at the end of each scene and jot down in your notebook somewhere the main things that happened. That will become your summary of the plot, and it really will help you to understand it better as you're working through it and to remember it better as you're studying for the test. See, forwards and backwards. Okay, so uh, if you have any questions at all about characters or context or what's happening or why it's happening, please feel free to contact me. I'd love to answer those questions for you. And other than that, good luck.